Okay, in this lesson we are going to work on saving and loading different types of selections. So if you hadn't closed your B2 document, you can. We don't need that anymore. And we're going to head on over to Classroom and open up B3 and bring this down. So it's a grayscale image. When I was referencing grayscale images in the last video about the magic wand tool, this is an example of a grayscale image. So what you would see right now is if you were to sample this, that there are 256 different shades of gray. So the lighter they are, the smaller the number, and the darker they are, obviously the more dark, the higher their number is. So the first thing that we're actually going to do is to do an adjustment. It's called posterize. And posterize is just a special effect that Photoshop has where we reduce the number of colors available in an image. So how we do that is we go up to Image, go down to Adjustments, and then about halfway down, we're choosing the option for Posterize. So go ahead and click on that. And now you can see what happens. I just want you to drag. Please make sure your preview box is checked so that you can see this happening. What I want you to do is just drag all the way over, and you'll see you can go up to 255. Now, I know I said 256, and the reason being is if you slide it all the way to the left, you can only go down to 2. Okay, if you took out more than that, it would either be all black or all white. So obviously you have to have at least 2 colors in there. But as you move it up, you can see how it gets more and more detail in the image based on how many colors you allow in there. So we're actually going to set our level at 4. So bring it all the way down to 4. And when you get there, go ahead and click OK. Now, right now, this image is actually in grayscale. So we're going to click on Image again up at the top on our File tab and then go to Mode. So right now, like I said, it's grayscale. If we tried to add color to this, it wouldn't work. We need to go down and change it to an RGB. Remember, RGB stands for red, green, and blue. It just allows us to be able to put color into this image, which is what we're going to want to do here eventually. So go ahead and click OK. Nothing is going to change on the outside of things, just on the file information on the back. And then we are going to grab our magic wand tool. And we're going to change our tolerance down to 1 because we only want to select one specific color. Remember, we only have 4 shades of a color in here anyways. We have the black, we have a dark gray, a light gray, and a white. So we're going to set our tolerance to 1, and then we're going to verify that both of our anti-alias and our contiguous boxes are unchecked. All that means is we're going to have sharp edges, and when we have contiguous, we want it to select everything in the entire image, not just what is touched. So what we want to do is find a white area of the image to select. So I'm going to click on any one of my white areas here, and you're going to see that what happens is my magic wand tool selects all of the white areas in the entire picture. You can see some of them over here. There's some selection. There's some selection on the house, a few spots up on the hill, on the top of the bluff where the house is. So it selects all of the white areas. Then what we're going to do is go up to our File tab again and change or click on our Select button and go down to where it says Save Selection. And so we're going to click on that, and all it's saying is that where do we want to save this selection as? Well, we're going to save it for our document, which is B3, and then we're going to name it white. We're very original here, but it's just going to be our white selection. Go ahead and click OK. Okay, then we need to deselect because we are going to do the same thing for the light gray and dark gray areas. So I'm going to select the light gray. I find it easier to grab in the sky rather than down here, because you can see there's lots of little pieces and you don't want to grab the wrong thing. So I'm going to select the light gray area. It selects all the light gray in the entire graphic. I go up to select, down to save selection, and again, same thing, I'm just going to call it light gray. And then click OK. Deselect. And lastly, we're going to grab the dark gray. So click anywhere with your magic wand on the dark gray. It's going to grab a lot of the image. It's actually a lot of dark gray. And then once again, we're going to go to select, save selection, dark gray, and then click OK. And deselect. So now that we've saved it, we're actually going to leave our black selection black, so I'm not overly worried about that one. I'm not going to save that selection. The next thing that we want to do is load those selections. So we're going to start by loading, let's see, which one should we do first? Let's load the light gray first. Let's load our light gray selection. So to do that, we go back up to select and go down to where it says load selection. It's right above where we had our save selection option. We're going to click load selection, and then it's going to ask us which one do we want. Do we want the white, light gray, or dark gray? And we're going to load our light gray selection, and then click OK. And so all it does is it remembers exactly what we had just saved. So we load our light gray selection, and then what we're going to do is actually choose one of the colors. Now, if you want to, you can use your hue selection box or your color picker for your foreground color. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go over to my swatches panel and choose some of the ones that are already out there. But you can certainly do whichever you feel more comfortable with. So I'm going to choose one of the oranges. I'm going to choose the pure yellow orange. You can pick any color that you want. I'm going to do the pure yellow orange, and you're going to see that my foreground color fills here. And so now that we have chosen our color, what I want us to do is go to Edit, and then go down to where it says Fill. And it's going to ask us, what do you want to fill? We want to fill using our foreground color. You could use black. It's got 50% gray and white and all this other fun stuff. We want to use our foreground color because our foreground color is the one that we just chose. And then we click OK. And our entire selection that we had, which was that light gray, gets filled with whatever color you choose or chose for the foreground color. So I'm going to deselect that. And you can see it's kind of cool. The next one we're going to load is our dark gray selection. So once again, we go to select, load selection, and I'm going to choose my dark gray option. And then for this one, I'm going to choose more of a darker red. I want to see, there's a dark red. What is this one? Darker red orange. I'm going to go with that one. Darker red orange. You can pick whatever you want. Again, I'm going to do kind of an ombre effect with red, orange, and yellow, but you can choose the colors that you want. So once I have my color selected again, I go up to Edit, Fill, and then once again I make sure it's my foreground color and click OK. And then I deselect. Kind of a cool two-tone between the red and the orange. I'm going to keep my black as black for that darker look. And then I'm just going to change my white as well. So I'm going to go up to Select, Load Selection, choose my white, and then I'm going to pick a light yellow. Pastel. We're going to do this light yellow. And then once again, Edit, Fill, make sure it's foreground color, and click OK. And deselect. So it's just kind of a cool way for us to create kind of a special effect. It would be cool to do for like a background for one of your graphics, if you had something like that you wanted to do. Otherwise, like I said, it's just a special effect that you can use to create visual interest for one of your pages or your spreads or your photos, whatever it happens to be. So we are technically done with this one, so you can go ahead and close it. You do not need to save. And then we'll meet you over in the next video.